It's a Crypto Sniper. Thank you for taking us through 50,000 subscribers. We've been covering the crypto market since 2016. My, oh my, that tells me that is the better part of 8 years. And as a result, I have determined that I want to be with you when the historic moment of Bitcoin running 100,000, yes, is likely to happen. We are squeezing higher on a 3 impulse fractal that I'll be talking more with you by in a second. On 100k, but the big moment is potentially due, and of course in this video we're going to be covering XRP, the big mover. We're going to look at it at a macro and also our shorter term trade that we provided in a video just before that. So we talk to you when there's things to tell. There's been community members making some good cash in earlier than you, in lower than you, and making sure they got out at the top, but glad to be helping you. And for those of you that did make some profits on the XRP trade, I'm delighted for you. And for those of you in Bitcoin, I think we'll be saying congratulations very soon, maybe even during the course of this video. It's currently 99,218 and looking perky, and this is a squeezy uppy that's going to have a pop out the top. Okay, let's cover this. By the by, we said in the community that this is very much like a 3 impulse upside HVF, you know, where that's kind of the 1, kind of a big bulky 2, got a bit schizo here into there, so it's better worked itself out, but essentially was there, and then you got your 3 there. But because it's on a squeezy uppy maneuver, it's not horizontalized. Yes, it's on a squeezy uppy that is actually higher than the second impulse higher. And the other thing that was interesting that I also discussed was that you got a fractal against the capping descending grind line that I would probably have drawn there in the fat blue. You got a fractal there that is a squeeze to break. And why is that? The 95. The 95 is the key level. You're essentially grinding your way up to the midpoint of 95, knowing that you're going to probably accelerate once you get into the second half of the 90s level. And what do? You fractalize just before you do it. I should take that fat blue line out the way, shouldn't I? So that you can see a little more. And there you can see the squeezy Japanesey. And what do? You pump. You clear the 95. We actually had a legacy target. We gave it to you as one of 2 points of continuation, saying that you're likely to run the 100,000, the 96.6. And now you're in a smaller version and a little bit more an abrupt version, looking to pop out the top for that 100k mark of what this is in effect, this entire structure, which was like that and like that. I took the blue line off. So you're actually getting fractalization, a smaller pattern as you are reaching ever higher, and a more tilted uppy one, which is likely to blow up, as I say, for that 100k. And we talk about voids and vacuums. No one's put an order at $99,906. So when you get close to the big round numbers, people put their orders there. So you get clustering. If you think of the volume by price, you get vacuums just before it. That's why you get sucked up. And then you trigger a lot of limit orders. And those orders, profits being taken, and those orders being get shut. And they actually push you so fast through the key level that not all of them can be executed at 100,000, and that's why you get a push through and you run the stack. And also there's a void and a vacuum on the other side of 100,000. Nobody sells or buys something at 100,001 or 100,001.4. So there are actually dearths of order book either side of a key round number, and we referred to this as voids and vacuums, which is why you get a sucking price behavior, which is why I'm pretty confident. It's Friday, you should be happy, and it's Bitcoin 100k day. I was on these channels when it first ran 10k, which was the last significant big number. I was on these channels when it ran 50k, and I was also live broadcasting with you as I expected to break 100k. That is the Bitcoin story. We are here actually to talk about a trade that we gave you and said was our priority trade and our best one, and that is XRP, which started out on the M30, the minute 30 time frame and actually went across to, wait for it, let's get our XRP chart up, we got him here, went up to the H1 as we lengthened out and we extended. So this was good structure, very relaxed, bloated second, but a lot of volatility being ironed out. It had already had a good spell, XRP. So let's just show you that on the numbers. If you look at it by numbers, who was the big performer last night? 72% over the last 7 days, which is your bias, and 25% over the last 24 hours. And in actual fact, if we did better than that, because we were getting in at the 105s, 106s, and sold at the 137. So we were closer to almost 30%. But those that followed the YouTube would have probably got 24% at least, and maybe 25, depending on when you purchase. So that was the biggest mover, 70%. It's been the biggest mover for the 7 day. We've been up and at 'em and talking about it, and it's by far the biggest daily of the big caps. So 24, the next big mover, Cardano, is 11%. Good, but a lot less. And Ethereum has got 8, a couple at 8s, 2s, and 3s. But some are sideways. This is the key thing about making sure. Toncoin, for example, 1%, 3% Shiba Inu. This is the key thing about making sure you are in the right ones. What are our 2 next trades? You know one of them. I gave them to you in the last video. You do not know the other one, and I'm already in that one. Aha, so you're going to have to find out and guess. And let me just say, again, all the ones we trade are liquid tokens in the top 25. And most of the time they're in the top 10 or thereabouts. So let's have a look at XRP a little more. So this is a key triggering event. Boom. Now I got a lot of heat for talking up the macro XRP, because then everyone was going, yeah, but don't believe him. He called XRP. Who sits and holds XRP? I got all these comments in the channel. Real angry folk that blame me because things didn't go when they wanted them to go. It's like, yeah, he said XRP. We also said, remember, start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king of the anti-fiats, and Bitcoin dominance is the main theme. But we have also said at the XRP will come. And by the way, on that setup, the monthly setup, we started talking about that before absolutely anyone. But a lot of people have noticed it and have now started to refer to it. The thing is, if they start talking a lot more about it more regularly with more energy, people forget that we were preparing you for this. And part of preparing you early is why you sometimes hate us, because we don't control the time frames when these things up. We're the earliest warning, but we're not the immediate warning just before. There's a massive difference in this, and you can see even here on the lower time frame, up, a little bit of a technical break, a little bit of a fizzle back out of the rising wedge. I was awake for this surge. The rest I was sleeping, and I woke up to the profits being taken. This is a good trade, guys. This has got you very good results. Big movements in account equity, even some hot pot. We'll occasionally, this is the season for hot pot. You're going to get around, 5 months. In fact, to do this discussion, I want to go to the macro. So you see this draw, that was it, the 137. We said you should do it. You had made that very quickly done, by the way. You would have been put long on the just-in-time entry. We bought early for reasons of maximizing our risk reward with working stops that then changed. You can find out how we do all of that. In fact, there's a free mini course below. You get a 5-minute email, 5-minute video training that goes out to your email address 5 days in a row. So go and register for that. Whitelist our email address, otherwise you will not receive it. It will be spammed. Because we use the word sniper, everybody thinks we murderers. Okay, so let's go to the bigger time frame, because this particular setup and its movement has done something exceedingly important on the big structure. And we were talking about this big structure a lot at one point, and everybody got angry because no $20. He said 16, he said 19, he said $20. It's done nothing. That's what we got. But not all of you, and most of you are mature. You realize and understand it. It's just a few guys, the loudest, squeakiest wheels. We don't control timing for when triggering events occur. But congratulations, I can now tell you, triggering event has occurred. And I want to refer you again to that 3 doors example. There's a big difference to a potential pattern probability of outcome and a post-triggering event potential of outcome. And that outcome we've said is 19.35, which is actually a $20 run. And that is all based on that 94-cent high over there, which has been clearly run and is triggered impulsively in a classic Marubozu candle, which is bottoms and tops full belt hold, all in the green. And you had an extended funneling period. You first had a very slow walkout up, and then you had an extended, what we refer to as squaring up period of very low vol, all of which were based probably on the fundamental narrative of the rat, SEC rat, Gainsler. Did I say that with any feeling? Never. The SEC Gainsler, who was essentially there to curb the alt markets of 2021. So I want to just show you a couple of things as well that needs to be. This is not just about XRP. This is about understanding crypto, altcoin dominance, Bitcoin dominance, a lot of things. And I think this event that will see a more friendly face appear in the SEC, which will be there to shepherd in your prison. And Trump will have done it and given you the pumpermentals market. And everybody will go, oh, he's our best friend. He's our best friend. We love him, Drumpf. So that was the extent on a log scale of your surge in a previous alt market 217 ending December. This was all you got from the bear market lows on XRP in 2021. It is significantly smaller. Now, we have said, while driving and showing you our sunroof and the mountain, hopefully, some views of the beautiful Cape, we had said to you that it's our express opinion that this particular bull market for alts will be an overperformer by basis of comparison to the previous one, which in our opinion was an underperformer. So I think by log scale size, if that was the 17 one and this was the 2021 one by size, you will find the current alt market that you are just triggering in terms of XRP, really getting your shorts on, is going to be more akin to possibly, if we're lucky, running you from there to there, which is about somewhere in between these two, where that is 1 and that is a 3 size. We like big, and the smaller number means big. I think the 2 is going to fit in there, and it's about that big. If we are lucky enough to have it all happen in the cycle, there is a possibility we only get to the first interim, we go into another mild bear market, or we get a breakup of the halvening 4-year cycle to a degree, and you finish later as either part of a breakup in the halvening cycle, or you wait for the next halvening cycle before you trade the 19.35. So please bear in mind, we have warned you, but I still think there's a decent chance we do this 19.35 $20 run in this particular alt market cycle. As I also explained, we expect August, September of 2025 on the 500 days, 517, 518 days to be the Bitcoin peak, and we expect it to be tough for alts to continue to perform for much beyond that. So we would say it's the crypto market general area peak, give or take a week either side or two, and as a result, you should be unwinding and taking back and taking off out of the market during the period of late August going into September, October zone for 2025. So that means until then, probably many good opportunities. This is where we bring in the hot pot. So you get blue, cold pot, that's investment. Orange, little bit of leverage. And then we use select opportunities. The M30 that we showed you, the 30-minute turned into 1 hour setup. That was a hot pot example. Yes, I do use a BitMEX account for that. And I smashed the HVFs during the altcoin bull market period, for which the window is now open again and will probably be shut. And this is when you'll be adding the biggest alpha potentially, if you understand methods, stop losses, money management, asymmetric rewards, and tight risk. And if you'd like to have lots of opportunities of that nature during this period where you can maximize your wealth going through to the August, September, October period, this is probably the most productive period you could ever enter into our community. You can book a call below on the link to have a chat and prove that you're semi-sane and ready to at least understand certain principles, make the required investment, and we will aim to give you a multiple on that investment in terms of outperformance that you would have got had you not joined. A multiple, not a small amount more, not an addition, a multiple of that you would have attained on your own accord as a result of that. Anyway, so book that call. This is a triggering event. So we are celebrating today the Impatient People's XRP triggering event day for the possible 20K run. And I mentioned the 3 doors. This is how the odds have reduced and how much additional probability you have in your favor when you switch doors. This point, the triggering event, is after the host has opened and showed you one of the GOAT doors, and you now have less doors, which could be the one holding your dream motor vehicle behind. And that reduces the risk and increases the probability of outcome. That doesn't mean it gives you a guarantee and it's 100%. It just means your odds just got a lot better. Your odds just got a lot better. Triggering event has occurred for that $19 call that we have been covering for the better part, literally since 2022. Because that's what we've been doing since that point after the RL2 and trading up. During that period, we have been covering it intermittently. Whenever there's been small amounts, we had a little wind up set up there as well. I remember that was when we spoke somewhere mid-23. All those videos remain up there. We never remove videos, including things where we get them hopelessly wrong. They're all still up there, by the way. We sometimes get comments, oh, you took that video down and you removed that tweet. No, they're all still there. They're all still there. I don't have time to whitewash this, and we have a small team. And it's also honest. The key point about a methodology is not that you win every time. It is a process that on probabilities, you get a better compounded outcome over a series of duration events. In other words, doing the same thing over duration versus somebody who does not have the methodology over a duration period that could outperform in one individual event, but not over the series of events. That's like the guy in blackjack who sticks on 12, and we say no, always call for a card on 16 and stick on 17. It's a different process, but it gets a better outcome. Now, the difference compared to the blackjack option is that you get a much bigger, amazingly, casinos are terrible odds places. Card games are terrible playing against the bank. You get a far bigger odds differential. It is far more worth doing it, and you won't have to wait series and series of hands before you clearly up over the guy that does eccentric sticks and card calling. And it's the same for the doors. You always switch the door because you've gone from a 1 in 3 guess to now having an opportunity at 1 in 2. And that's why you do it. And I mentioned that, and some guys still a bit freaked out about it. It's weird logic. Remember the 52 cards? You take one. I ask you for the ace of spades. You have 1 in 1.9% of choosing the ace of spades when I shuffle the deck and I offer you every card. But if I remove 50 of the remaining cards and say none of those, and I show each one to you, is it? And there's one other, you swap to the other one. You swap to the other one because it's 2% odds. You less than 2. You chose the correct card, and on the other one, it's almost certainly a very high chance. It's the other 98% of odds, because all the other 50 cards have been removed. Okay, good. Enough on the probability brain teasers. Let's get on with this. So this is a key triggering event. Your odds of the 19.35 and the triggering event have now occurred. First interim, 164.878. So you want a 165 run, and second interim 4.55. Final target at the 19.36, looking for the $20. You will hopefully be into the $20. If it is coming at great pace, you could have an overshoot that could be quite marvelous. By the way, this is log scale, so I'm not saying it's going to go to 45 in that overshoot. I'm just sketching for you. So this is a major positive event. Well done to those that hung around, that sat through the desert, and of course the story being lifted. You actually have a compressed, unactualized bull market upside that wasn't achieved. That Bitcoin did have its fullest run. Some will argue maybe Ethereum did too. I don't know. Compared to previous alt runs, plus you will have the new alt run, and now you're going to have the normalization that this is probably going to play some meaningful role in the future CBDC systems and everything else. We won't go into the reset topics today. Not on Bitcoin 100K day will we do it. It's XRP triggering day as well, and I'm hoping you are glad. When I say triggering day, it's triggering month. It might have been, when did we cross? Let's actually get the exact date. When did we cross? Last week we crossed. And of course, that was the point when we crossed our triggering event. So I'm pointing it out, but I haven't done a macro update since last week. I did micro trades for you yesterday, and I gave you a couple of others just so that you had something else apart from the XRP. Okay, so remember, hit the like. This is, by the way, protection of your gains. Wow, it's never been more important. They've got all the exchanges sewn up. If you're staying in the same country that you're living in, that's the same country that your passport, that's 95% of you watching this right now, by the way. With the same company, if you work for your own company, or if you're the employed, or whatever the case may be, and you're born in that country, passport that country, and all of that, you are getting a tax bill. On balance of probabilities, I'm 95% sure you're getting a tax bill, and they're going to come for you, and you're going to have to save to cover that out of your losses. And by the way, if you make a huge amount of profits into August, September, October, but you don't listen to the market sniper, and you don't retreat, and you think the cycle will extend, you're too greedy-eyed, and you think it will go more, I must not stop, this is such adrenal, wishful, lovely moments for me, and you pluck on and you use leverage, and you pass a tax year, which say in the US is end of the calendar year, you will be taxed on that amount, and you then lose it all in January, February, March, or you lose 40-50% thereof. You will pay tax on the high water mark that you were on the 31st of December. You will no longer have that money, and you will end up having to get credits in future years against those losses, and you'll be in deep trouble. You can be sovereign. You can put an end to the extraction, but you have to be prepared to move. You have to be prepared to move. The West is in dire straits. English language nations are in dire straits. Europe is in dire straits. If you're Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, UK, or Western Europe, I'm talking now to about 85 to 90% of all of you watching. You actually need to be leaving where you are. You don't like that message, do you? I know you don't like it, but I can tell you what's coming for you. And, you know, we've rarely been wrong on the things that we're telling that's coming for you. So, be smart. Be smart. Change your domicilium. Change your domicilium. In other words, make the money, keep the money. Make the money, preserve capital. Capitalize your gains. It's not house money. You risked your own money to make it. It's your profit. It becomes capital. Capitalize it. You're not playing with house money. Don't keep some benchmark low level. Every time you take a risk, you've exposed your capital to loss. Ask me, we know it. Remember FTX? When's that money coming, by the way? $20. has now become more likely to happen. Remember, keep more of it, take action. We deal with those reset aspects also in our community. Another reason to click the link below, maximize your gains and keep your gains. Capital gains, capital preservation, all part of what we do in our reset economic period that you are currently participating in, where traditional financial advice of buy bonds, 60-40 portfolios that were designed for the 40-year cycle that is now over, that didn't have gold, didn't have alternative reserve assets in it, like possibly cryptos, etc., all of it are now going to fail. Your traditional advisors are counterproductive. No, I'm not regulated. No, I'm non-advisory. I'm just telling you, be careful who you listen to, including myself, in terms of financial advice. Okay, with that, we love you and leave you. Hit the like button. Well done, XRP holders, those that walked the desert and hung on, or well done to those that just traded it once it got interesting and didn't complain about the fact that things are going to take their time. There was a clear, call it a cock blocker, a rev limiter in the form of the SEC that has now been removed. And with that, the rats are out the kitchen. It's time to cook. Woohoo! Till next time, catch you later. Bye for now.
Tired of profit wipeouts and blown accounts from following trade signal groups and other YouTube channels? Looking for a better way to trade, reduce your stress, and minimize your risk? Become a skilled technical analyst and see the charts and markets in a new light using the successfully proven HVF method by Francis Hunt, while being surrounded and supported by a principled, structured, and experienced community. Enjoy a constructive learning environment while practically trading markets, supported by a bespoke platform run through browser and app, specifically designed to teach and engage you whilst learning and growing as the markets move. This is not a Telegram or Slack signal group. All trade ideas are based on a proprietary technical analysis process honed over decades, which is the HVF method, leading to trade ideas with fast-moving breakouts and tight stops, exact entries and exits, nuanced interim considerations, and ultimately, strong rewards. Submissions are graded and scored by Francis for potential high-quality setups, and we provide bespoke tools to help get the job done properly and with precision. Over time and with focused effort, you'll begin to look at charts and price action just like Francis. Community updates every day by Francis and our 3 webinars a week provide a 360-degree approach, which are presented by our experienced team of trade leaders to spot potential trades. We're a community of self-actualized individuals, spanning the globe and active 24/7, 365. The premium community provides a warm, supportive, and cooperative place for people willing to listen, participate, contribute, and to learn. We've changed thousands of traders' lives. Transform your approach to trading now. Transform your life. Book an introductory call with us on the link below.